Welcome to Quantum Veil, where we explore the hidden stories written across time and space. Tonight, we leave behind the noise of the present and drift back 200 million years, to an age of giant forests, volcanic skies, and creatures that would one day inspire myth. This is the Jurassic Period, not just the era of dinosaurs, but a chapter of boundless creativity. Here, the Earth was alive with invention. New plants stretched toward unfamiliar sunlight. Vast reptiles discovered shapes no creature had ever tried before. Even tiny mammals began their quiet rehearsal for a future that was still far away. Settle in, breathe deeply, and let us guide you through this world, as calm and strange as a dream. As the Triassic faded, Earth opened its doors to a fresh chapter. Continents slowly drifted, splitting ancient superlands into smaller pieces. The air grew heavy with warmth, and forests spread like emerald oceans. Towering conifers, cycads, and tree ferns rose skyward, their fronds whispering in humid breezes. Vast wetlands shimmered under golden light, and shallow seas crept over low plains. Life sensed new possibilities. Giant reptiles were among the first to claim this stage. Long-necked sauropods browsed lazily on treetops, while nimble herbivores darted between trunks, nibbling tender shoots. In the undergrowth, quick-footed predators tested their skills, their sharp eyes and claws designed for sudden movement. But this was more than a story of giants. Small amphibians called from shaded pools, insects traced sparkling paths through the air, and shy mammals rustled in mossy shadows. Every sound, every ripple, every movement hinted at a planet entering one of its most extraordinary eras, a living tapestry that would shape the very future of life. As the Jurassic world matured, its landscapes grew alive with breathtaking shapes. Among the most captivating were the long-necked sauropods, titans whose silhouettes rose like living towers against forested horizons. Their graceful necks swept slowly through the air, gathering leaves high above, while heavy tails balanced their colossal frames. Herds moved with quiet determination, their footsteps pressing deep into soft riverbanks. Juveniles clustered near their mothers, learning to navigate a world where size was both strength and vulnerability. These immense creatures shaped the land itself, carving pathways through vegetation, their weight sculpting the soil into tracks that would harden into stone for us to find millions of years later. Above them, a different drama unfolded. Pterosaurs, the masters of the skies, glided effortlessly on wings stretched between elongated fingers. Some skimmed the water's surface, snapping up fish with precision, others soared high, riding thermals above ancient lakes. Their fragile bones, built for air, left only delicate traces in the fossil record, whispers of a sky once alive with leathery wings. Together, these giants of land and air painted a scene both tranquil and awe-inspiring. Towering herbivores browsing beneath an endless canopy, and aerial hunters tracing arcs through the blue, a balance of earth and sky woven into the fabric of the Jurassic. Beneath the tranquil herds and soaring wings, another force shaped the Jurassic wilderness, its hunters. Among them, the allosaurs reigned supreme. Lean, muscular, and endlessly adaptable, they patrolled floodplains and fern prairies with quiet precision. Their jaws, lined with serrated teeth, were built not for crushing but for slicing, a perfect match for swift attacks on unsuspecting prey. Fossil beds reveal their abundance, dozens of skeletons lying side by side, silent evidence of a predator that once dominated entire regions. They were fast, agile, and armed with 3 sharp claws on each hand, tools for gripping and tearing. Their hunting style was not pure power, like the tyrannosaurs of a later age, but a dance of patience and timing, a slash here, a leap there, chipping away at their quarry's strength until the moment to strike arrived. Evidence suggests they may have gathered at kills, tolerating each other in moments of plenty, though whether they hunted together remains a mystery. Like the big cats of today, they were opportunists, capable of feeding on fallen animals as readily as chasing the living. Around them, life pulsed with tension. Stegosaurs swung heavy tails tipped with spikes, a warning to keep hunters at bay. Juvenile sauropods stayed close to the herd's sheltering bulk. Each step in this prehistoric chess game shaped the next move, driving the evolution of speed, armor, and cutting across the land. While great hunters roamed the floodplains, another story was quietly unfolding high above the forest floor, the birth of a new lineage that would one day rule the skies. Among the limestone quarries of Germany, paleontologists uncovered a fossil so extraordinary it blurred the line between reptile and bird. Archaeopteryx, delicate feathers imprinted in stone, a tail stiffened by bone, and small claws perched on its wings, revealed a moment of transformation. Here was a creature experimenting with the air, halfway between the grounded hunters and the feathered voyagers to come. Feathers themselves were older than flight. They first emerged on small theropods, perhaps for warmth, camouflage, or display. But in time, some began using them to glide between trees, testing the boundaries of gravity. Early birds like Archaeopteryx were clumsy flyers, fluttering short distances or coasting between perches, but those tentative movements were enough. They offered a new escape from predators and new access to food in untouched places. The forests of the Jurassic provided endless opportunity, buzzing insects, scurrying lizards, even tiny mammals hiding among moss and ferns. Feathers became not just tools for warmth or show, but instruments for survival. Over millions of years, these fragile pioneers would refine the gift of flight, weaving their way into every ecosystem, until one day, they would inherit the skies entirely. Beyond the towering sauropods and the fierce hunters, the Jurassic world was alive with creatures that rarely drew attention, yet they were every bit as vital to its balance. In the hush of twilight, small mammals ventured from their burrows. They were nimble, whiskered for sensing danger, and mostly active at night, avoiding the larger predators that prowled by day. Some glided between tree trunks, using thin membranes stretched between limbs, early experiments in flight long before squirrels or bats perfected it. Others burrowed into soft soil, living quietly in underground chambers where they raised their young in safety. Amphibians thrived near shaded pools, their croaks echoing against walls of fern and moss. Frogs and salamanders hunted insects at the water's edge, while turtles basked on half-submerged logs, their shells warming in the sun. Lizards darted across sandy clearings, pausing only to snap up a beetle or a fly before vanishing again into cover. Insects themselves formed the invisible machinery of this ancient world. Dragonflies skimmed over wetlands, their wings glittering in shafts of light. Beetles drilled into decaying wood, turning fallen trees back into soil. Mosquitoes hovered in humid air, feeding on blood and scattering as feathered hunters passed overhead. Even the smallest wings carried echoes of evolution, each a reminder that life's greatest strength lies in its ability to diversify. Together, these modest creatures wove the quiet threads of the Jurassic tapestry. They recycled, pollinated, and spread the seeds of plants that fed the giants. Though their fossils are rare and often fragile, they reveal stories of adaptation just as remarkable as those of the massive reptiles. Without them, the balance of this ancient Earth would have faltered, and the great age of dinosaurs might never have endured so long. As our journey through the Jurassic draws to a close, we pause to look back at the world we have wandered. From colossal sauropods moving like living mountains, to the smallest mammals scurrying beneath fallen logs, each life was a note in Earth's ancient symphony. Fossils, etched in stone, are the quiet storytellers of that age. A single tooth hints at the hunger of a predator. A fern impression whispers of sunlight filtering through primeval forests. A set of tracks across hardened mud captures the moment a herd passed, their weight pressing history into the ground. These remains connect us to a time when life experimented endlessly, shaping futures none of its participants could imagine. The legacy of the Jurassic lives on in the creatures and landscapes around us. Birds carry the triumph of feathered dinosaurs. Crocodiles rest with the same steady patience they held when the first pterosaurs took flight. Dragonflies hover over ponds just as they did when stegosaurs grazed nearby. Even the continents under our feet, their valleys, mountains, and coastlines, bear the marks of that age, sculpted by tectonic forces that set the stage for today's world. The story of the Jurassic is not only about survival, but about resilience. After storms flattened forests, plants sprouted anew. After eruptions buried valleys, ferns were the first to reclaim the ash. Even after the rise and fall of species, life pressed forward, adapting, renewing, and thriving. That rhythm, challenge and recovery, loss and renewal, continues still, binding our present to that distant past. So, as you return to your own time, carry with you the echoes of this ancient world. Picture morning mist drifting through towering conifers, a dragonfly's wings glistening in quiet sunlight, or the heavy footfalls of a sauropod shaping the soil. Remember that the earth beneath you holds stories older than imagination, and that every tree, every bird, every stone is part of the same unbroken thread. This has been Quantum Veil, guiding you through another chapter of our planet's story. Until next time, may you look at the skies, the seas, and the ground below with new wonder, knowing they are all linked to the timeless balance of life.